8 times a year, a group of 12 people sit down in a room in Washington, D.C. No cameras, no live stream, just a closed door meeting that lasts 2 days. And when these doors open, stock markets move, mortgage rates shift, your savings account interest rate changes, and billions of dollars flow in and out of the market within minutes of the announcement. Most people have no idea that this meeting is even happening. And the ones who do know it exists usually have no idea what actually goes on inside of it or why it matters so much to their everyday financial life. And that's what this video is about. I'm Alex, aka Your Money Friend, and today we are breaking down the FOMC. What is it? Who's in it? What they actually decide? And most importantly, why it matters to you personally, whether you invest or not. With that said, let's get into it. What is the FOMC? FOMC stands for the Federal Open Market Committee. It is the policymaking arm of the Federal Reserve, which is the central bank of the United States. Think of the Federal Reserve as the bank that all other banks answer to. It does not serve regular customers like you and me. Its job is to manage the overall health of the US economy. And the FOMC is the specific group inside the Federal Reserve that makes the most important decisions about that economy, especially decisions about interest rates. Now, before we go further, what is an interest rate and why does it matter? An interest rate is basically the cost of borrowing money. When interest rates are high, it costs more to borrow. When they are low, it costs less. That affects everything from the mortgage on your house to the interest you earn on your savings account to how much it costs a business to take out a loan to expand and hire more people. The FOMC controls a specific interest rate called the federal funds rate. Right now in 2026, that rate sits at a target range of 3.5% to 3.75%. That number might seem small, but it has a ripple effect across the entire economy. And the FOMC is the group that decides whether to raise it, lower it, or leave it where it is. Who is in the FOMC? Now, the FOMC has 12 voting members. 7 of them are members of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve. These are people appointed by the President of the United States and confirmed by the Senate. They serve long terms up to 14 years, specifically so they are insulated from political pressure and can make decisions based on economics rather than politics. The most well-known of these 7 is the chair of the Federal Reserve. Right now in 2026, that is Jerome Powell. When you hear people talk about what the Fed is going to do, they're usually talking about what Powell and the rest of the FOMC are going to decide. The other 5 voting members are presidents of regional Federal Reserve banks. There are 12 regional Federal Reserve banks spread across the country in cities like New York, Chicago, San Francisco, and others. The president of the New York Fed is always a voting member because New York is the financial center of the country. The other 4 spots rotate among the remaining 11 regional bank presidents on an annual basis. So in 2026, the rotating voting members are the presidents of the Cleveland, Philadelphia, Dallas, and Minneapolis Federal Reserve banks. So in total, 12 people. These 12 people make the decision that affect every single person in the United States and a significant portion of the global economy. What actually happens at an FOMC meeting? The FOMC meets 8 times a year. That works out to roughly once every 6 weeks. The meetings last 2 days. During those 2 days, the committee reviews an enormous amount of economic data, inflation numbers, employment figures, consumer spending, business investment, global economic conditions. They are essentially taking the temperature of the entire economy and trying to figure out where things are headed. They also hear presentations from Federal Reserve staff, economists who have been analyzing all of this data in depth. And they discuss, sometimes debate, what the right policy response should be. At the end of the second day, they vote, and the result of the vote is the interest rate decision. Either they raise the federal funds rate, lower it, or hold it steady where it is. After the vote, the Fed releases a statement explaining the decision, and the chair holds a press conference where they answer questions from journalists and explain the committee's thinking. The press conference is watched extremely closely by investors, economists, and financial markets around the world, not just for what was decided, but for the language used to describe it. A single word change in the Fed statement can signal a shift in direction that moves markets significantly.
Good afternoon.
the Fed's dual mandate. Here's something important to understand about why the FOMC makes the decisions it does. The Federal Reserve has what is called a dual mandate. This is a fancy way of saying it has two main goals it is always trying to balance at the same time. The first goal is maximum employment. The Fed wants as many Americans as possible to have jobs. When unemployment is low and people are working, the economy is generally healthy. The second goal is stable prices. This means keeping inflation under control. Inflation is when the prices of things go up over time. A little inflation is normal and healthy. Too much inflation, like what happened in 2021 and 2022, erodes the purchasing power of your money. So everything costs more and your dollar buys less. The FOMC is constantly trying to find the right balance between these two goals. And the Balance Act is what drives every single interest rate decision they make. How the FOMC decision affects you directly. Now, this is the part that most people skip over, and this is the most important part. FOMC decisions are not just abstract economic policy. They affect your everyday financial life in very concrete ways. Your mortgage rates are not set directly by the Fed, but they are heavily influenced by the federal funds rate. When the Fed raises rates, mortgage rates tends to go up. When the Fed cuts rates, mortgage rates tend to come down. Right now, with the federal funds rate sitting at 3.5 to 3.75%, mortgage rates are elevated compared to where they were a few years ago. That means buying a home is more expensive today than it was when rates were near zero. Your savings account, when the interest rates are higher, banks pay more interest on savings accounts, money market accounts, and certificates of deposit. And that's actually good news for savers. If you have money sitting in a high yield savings account right now, you are earning meaningfully more interest than you would have been a few years ago when the rates were near zero. Your credit card and loans. Credit card interest rates and personal loan rates are also influenced by the federal funds rate. When the Fed raises rates, the cost of carrying a credit card balance goes up. When rates come down, it gets a little cheaper. This is why paying off high interest debt becomes even more urgent in high rate environment. Now let's talk about your investments. This is where things get really interesting for anyone who invests in stocks or bonds. When the Fed raises interest rates, it generally puts downward pressure on stock prices. Higher rates means bonds and savings accounts start paying more attractive returns. So some investors shift money out of stocks and into these safer options. Higher rates also mean companies have to pay more to borrow money, which can slow their growth and reduce their profits. When the Fed cuts rates, the opposite tends to happen. Stocks often rally because borrowing gets cheaper, business investments pick up, and the returns on bonds and savings accounts becomes less attractive by comparison. How to follow the FOMC as an investor. If you invest in stock or if you're thinking about starting, understanding the FOMC calendar is genuinely useful. The Fed publishes its meeting schedule for the entire year in advance, and you can find it on the Federal Reserve's website at federalreserve.gov. The next scheduled meetings in 2026 are on June 16th and 17th and July 28th and 29th. In the days leading up to each meeting, pay attention to what Fed officials are saying publicly. Speeches and comments from voting members, especially the chair, often give signals about which direction the committee is leaning. If multiple officials are talking about persistent inflation, that suggests rates might stay higher for longer. If they are talking about a weakening labor market, that might signal that cuts are coming. On the day of the announcement, the decision comes out at 2 p.m. Eastern time. The press conference follows shortly after. Markets often move significantly in the minutes after the announcement, sometimes in one direction and then reversing as investors digest the details of the statement and the press conference. Where Webull and Interactive Broker come in. So if you want to follow the markets and invest around economic events like FOMC meetings, having the right platform matters. Webull gives you real-time market data, economic calendars, and news alerts all built into the app. You can set up notifications for FOMC announcements and see how the market is reacting in real time. It is commission-free and beginner-friendly with a paper trading future that lets you practice without risking real money. Interactive Brokers is a more advanced option for investors who want deeper tools, access to global markets, and more sophisticated order types. It is one of the most widely used platforms among serious investors and traders who follow macro events like FOMC decisions closely. Links for both are in the description down below. They are affiliate links, which means we earn a small commission if you sign up through them at no extra cost to you. And that's just what keeps this channel going. The FOMC is one of the most powerful groups of people in the world when it comes to your financial life. Now, you don't have to be an economist to understand what they do. You just have to know the basics, and now you do. If this video helped you out, hit that like button and subscribe. We post new videos every week here on Your Money Friend covering investing, money, and everything in between in a way that actually makes sense. So hopefully that video was helpful, and please tell us what you want to hear on the next videos. That's it from me, Alex, aka Your Money Friend. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.